Good afternoon, world. Today's video is going to start a little bit differently. Somebody close to me said yesterday that they feel like there wasn't enough transparency in the vlogs in our current situation, and because they're getting their information about what's happening with us through the videos right now, we want to share an important update. Yesterday afternoon, we were made aware by Sacha's mum that there was a repatriation flight available on Tuesday. Yeah, so this is the first time this has come up, and the flight is going to be going directly from Siargao Island to Manila, and then from Manila back to London Heathrow. So it was basically the perfect direct flight from here back to London, which is where my mum lives. This flight has been arranged by the Foreign Commonwealth Office, and it's been organised by the British Embassy. So it's a proper official government repatriation flight, and they basically have limited seats and they had limited availability, and there were some choices to be made last night. So what happened was we sat down and we laid all of the options out on the table. So up until this point, our plan has always been the same. We feel like we're very safe here on this island. There are still no cases of the virus, and the lockdown is supposed to be lifted on the 15th of April. And we've been talking about that a fair amount. I think that's pretty clear. And after the 15th of April, we are allowed to start reorganizing our flights that were previously booked. So that's been the plan up until now. But you made a choice yesterday, didn't you?
When this opportunity came up, this repatriation opportunity, so to speak there, you gave me the choice of whether I wanted to, take it, like now. I jumped at the chance because I thought, well, it seems official and hopefully it's not a scam. And I had the means to pay for this extra flight to go back to London. And I took the opportunity, or I grabbed at it, because I felt that if I didn't now, I may not have enough funds to do that sort of a thing in the near future. So that was my choice. I did it. I was given a choice. Nobody was kicking me out or anything of that sort there. I was getting bored. I wanted to be back there. As you probably see in the vlogs, I've been gardening and I've been keeping myself occupied there, but there's only so much I can do with planting and waiting for things to take, effect there. But when this opportunity came up, I grabbed at it. This was my choice.
So the reason why I wanted to start the video in this way is because I want to be clear about what's happening. Nobody knows what's going on in the world right now. There is a lot of stress and tension, and we're all having to make decisions based on what is personally most beneficial to our own safety and to our own circumstances. Right now, where my mum lives back in London and where we live in Portugal, totally different circumstances are going on. If we're being totally honest, I would prefer that mum stayed with us until the lockdown was over and then we travel together, because that way obviously we're still traveling as a family. But I can't guarantee my mum that after the 15th that she's going to be able to get on that flight back to London. And
all of us,
yeah. But our situation is different, because if we choose to stay here for a bit longer while we wait for Portugal's borders to open up, then my mum isn't forced to be in the same circumstances when she really wants to get home. And you are missing home, right?
Yes, definitely. I'm missing home. I'm missing my other grandchildren also, because things are happening in there that many milestones are being and I haven't been there physically. But although I can't I can't go and see them physically, but at least I'll be a little bit nearer. And plus there are things that I can do at home. And even if I was locked down at home there, it wouldn't bother me because I can keep myself occupied, like sewing and stitching and tidying up and so forth there. But there's only limited things I can do over here.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why,
It comes down to independence as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Most of this trip, like my mum has been reliant on us like taking control of arrangements, because we're the ones in charge of the travel. And now that we are also not in charge of what's going on, it's been very difficult to be able to give clear information about what happens next. All I can go by is the news.
Day to day.
Yeah, and all I can do is put the options down on the table. Now, when this option came up yesterday, you just snapped at it immediately. It was like there was not even any time to talk about it properly with our family back in the UK. It was just like quick. I need to try and book myself onto this flight
Because that's what they said.
There's limited seats, and we, as of this moment right now, we're still waiting for. It's been paid for. It was £1,000 per ticket, and you paid for it already. But it hasn't been confirmed that Mum actually has a seat on this flight. But they did say that they were going to give priority to people over a certain age, the elderly, or somebody running out of medication, or somebody in a position where they feel like they need to go as a priority. There were many factors to keep in mind. I guess while we're here, it's also worth saying that if we all travelled together on this repatriation flight, which would be probably the wrong choice for me, Sacha, and Story right now, when we get back to London, there isn't actually anywhere for us to stay because every house is on lockdown. All of our family members are locked into their homes, and we've just been travelling around Asia, and we don't want to risk them being exposed to anything we might bring back if we were travelling and weren't showing any symptoms during the journey. Now, we've taken into account the flight back. If Mum said to me, if she chose to do this, this is quite possibly the most direct flight you could take, because it's like a reserved thing, which means there's no airplanes coming in and out of the airport in Siargao at the moment. So there's going to be one plane there or two planes on that day, and the only people that are allowed to travel to that airport are the ones that have a ticket booked, paid for, and approved by the government. You have to go by government transport to get there. You need permission. So as long as Mum's wearing a mask, she's wearing long sleeves, perhaps gloves, alcohol gel, staying vigilant and staying safe. It's from here to Siargao Airport, from Siargao Airport, from Manila back to London, and we think there's going to be a transit zone between and no quarantine in Manila. If this is your choice,
we had to take the choice quickly there because fair enough, it was within the lockdown period there, but it's just I chose to go and that's it. And if this is not possible, and if this is a sham, I hope I get my money back, and then I'm going to have to stay on till the lockdown and see how it's going to go from there. So really, from day to day, we're just having to make decisions, to suit our own lifestyle.
We've had to weigh up all of the options based on psychologically how it feels to be trapped or stranded. Yes, this is a paradise. There are no cases of the disease on the island as far as we know, but it's not our government and it's not our country, and for me personally and for Sacha, weighing up everything, it's still best for us to stick to the original plan. So that's what we will do. But for Mum, she's her own person. You psychologically, day by day, this is we can tell that this has been taxing on you.
It has. And that, I'm not really honest there. I want to be home. I'm missing my garden. I'm missing my plants. I'm missing the things that I can do at home, my stitching. If anybody is thinking anything otherwise, then I hope this will be something that will resolve their fears, because I've got I know what's good for me. If I've been given an opportunity, I will take it. If it's not going to be fruitful, then I'll have to face the opportunity for that as well.
So we're still waiting for this email. We'll probably know later today,
hopefully,
if Mum is actually going on this flight. But if she is, she's been told to get ready for tomorrow afternoon, pack a bag, basically pretend as if you were actually on the flight and get ready to go. It feels very much like an army extraction, which I guess in some way it's a government extraction, so it does kind of feel like that. We've discussed this as adults as much as possible. There's no hard feelings. In an ideal world, I would love for you to stay with us.
I would rather go back. I came out with you, and I'd rather go back with you there.
It's not nice for it to. No, it's not nice for it to end badly in any way.
We have got strategy worked out here, so that if anything does happen there, I've still got my family members back in London as well as you. I can rely on here.
You'll be in direct contact with me on the phone until the flight in Manila to London, and then as soon as she gets back to London, there'll be somebody there from my family to pick my mum up.
So have no fear. I'm going to be. Hopefully, I'll be all right. If it's not a scam, I'm looking forward to that. If it doesn't happen, then I'm stuck here. But sometimes paradise can be a bit boring also. But we still have to make the most of it, though. But and
psychologically, it's a very taxing time for absolutely everybody.
And we can forgive each other, afterwards.
We do our best to not step on people's toes, but no human is supposed to be in this circumstance. And we're just doing our best to manage the situation as best as possible. So
I hope this makes that quite clear to everybody who's got concerns, and if they are genuine concerns, then I hope this will alleviate those concerns. And we're all right at the moment.
We are, and we'll keep you updated as to what happens basically later today, because we don't know. We just don't know. Every day has been, we don't know what happens next. So,
and I'm sure everybody will understand they don't know either.
Exactly.
Even the officials don't know. So
I mean, again, I want to say thank you to everybody else that sent
thank
us.
you for your concerns.
Yeah, being concerned, for sending
that,
the details of this flight. We already knew about it from quite early on, and you made the decision pretty much straight away. But since then, pretty much all through, I was up all night last night, and all night we was getting messages on Instagram and Facebook. Have you seen this flight? Maybe Irma wants to take it. Maybe what are your thoughts? Is it safer for you to go? Or all of that has been taken into account. And as adults, we're all making our own individual decisions, and we're just trying as best as we can to respect everyone's psychological state right now, and do what we think is best. Who knows, maybe tomorrow I'll be telling you a completely different story. So we've been reminding Mum to spend as much quality time with Story as possible. We all know it, but if she does go back to the UK, she won't be able to actually be in direct contact with her other grandkids, not even be able to be in direct contact with my brothers, of course. So all we can do is be supportive and hope that the whole world heals the right way and we can go back to some form of normality. Isn't it strange that we're now living in a world where it's a privilege or a luxury to be able to hold hands with your loved ones, You little daredevil. Are you disturbing the crab school? They're trying to study.
Journey completed. Journey completed. Let me come over.
You're gonna fall right into the crab school. She's heavy, isn't she?
She's a heavy girl.
She's really heavy. Story, I think you weigh about 20 kilos or something. We're going to wait until later today, see what the official response is from the FCO, and then try and explain this to Story somehow. She's a smart girl, I think she'll be okay. I am secretly hoping that this isn't goodbye to my mum. I'm secretly hoping that she doesn't get a seat, because, as much as she's made her decision, I do think that when she's not here anymore and she's stuck in a London house without contact with Story and everything, she will look back on the memories that we've created on this amazing trip around Asia.
I don't want her to go. I feel sad that it's come to this and we're now faced with this decision. I wish that it could have been how we pictured it and we all go home together at the end of the lovely trip, and we're not parting ways on these terms. It just feels really odd. For my side of the family, my mum has quite strongly suggested that we stay put. She's happy that we're safe here and she doesn't want Story to travel, and things in her part of the world are getting quite dire and it's not a nice time. My dad is a little bit more fearful of us staying out here, but my dad does tend to worry a lot more than I do, and we are here and we are on the ground and we know how it feels, whereas my dad is just assuming things maybe from past experiences. So it's a difficult situation, it really is. Last night was rough. Last night was not a good night for any of us, with so many big decisions and news and information all coming at us from all different kinds of directions, and it was tough.
It's worth mentioning that we are in constant contact with the local people here in terms of asking about information, finding out what they know from their local sources, from their governor and the contacts that they have, and everyone has told us stay here. This is the local people, the Filipinos around the town, they've all said you should stay here, it's safest for you, and that has made me feel so welcome and that's made me feel safe. And that's the message that we're getting here.
We woke up this morning feeling more positive than when we went to bed. And sitting here looking at this sunset and listening to the waves, it is hard to imagine being anywhere else right now. And I do still feel we are in the right place. So as of today, our current game plan for being here is to do what we've said we would do from the beginning when this lockdown started, and that is to ride it out as best we can in a safe environment until we can reschedule our flights that we've already paid for and that the company have said will open their hotlines at the end of the month, so we can begin to rebook our travel again.
Because we spent 5 years of our life before living in Asia, we do actually have some contacts here in Thailand and in the Philippines, and they've offered us different options as well that we could possibly take for accommodation, for a reduced cost, or for nothing. So if we reorganize our flights and we're still here for a month longer or 2 months longer, we have actually some open doors that we can explore. So that's an extra bit of information for anybody that's concerned. We're not making decisions blindly here. We do have help on the ground and in the neighboring countries too, but it all depends on what happens with the borders and when the lockdowns across Asia are lifted and across Europe.
Yeah, and obviously nobody knows that now, so we can't even begin to really make any proper decisions until things start working again.
So as of this moment, we still don't know if my mum has got that flight. The email hasn't come through yet.
No.
So that's probably going to be information to share in tomorrow's vlog.
Which is all starting to feel a little bit tense now, isn't it? Because it is quite getting late in the evening here.
Yeah.
And if she is going, she has to go tomorrow, like early afternoon.
Tomorrow
so
afternoon.
it's like it's not giving us a lot of time to prepare or, you know, do anything really. It's all very last minute and
Yeah.
it's very stressful.
So this was a much longer vlog than usual, but we really do feel that it was important to get the message clear. I don't want people to have too many misunderstandings. I know that people are going to try and read between lines anyway, but this is our message, this is our current situation, as transparent as we can be. We'll update you all tomorrow with what's going on, but right now we're still feeling very happy with our choices right now, and my mum is also feeling very happy with the choice that she's made.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to all respect that, and we'll let you know what's going on in tomorrow's vlog. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.